Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. Almost afternoon for some of y'all. A morning, afternoon, whatever you want to call it today. Look, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to wear the hat? I was outside. Didn't want to get the hair wet. So, what's up, everybody? Good morning to everyone in the chat. Good to see everybody, man. Come on, give it up some more. Give it up some more. I'm glad to see y'all. I'm glad to see y'all for real. Today's going to be an eventful stream. I'm telling y'all right now, today's stream will be eventful. Got a lot of things we're going to be able to dive into. Got some reactions from this weekend's events. You all know I didn't do a live reaction to Alabama beating Auburn Saturday. But you all know I was on the road, and man, I was following it via Gamecast on the ESPN app. And my goodness, man, my voice was, I was yelling as if I was watching it live. And going back and rewatching it, man, what a game. Way to go and get it, Bama. I think that was the exact type of energy, the game that we needed to see from the boys, to see that fight that we're going to see, need to see going forward to extend this season. As you all know, we have the conference tournament coming up this week, and then next week, the following week after that, this weekend is Selection Sunday for the NCAA. Well, no, Selection Sunday was yesterday, I believe. But we have the NCAA tournament coming up. So we'll be making sure we stay a little bit more engaged with our men's basketball. You all know the tournament time is more so the time where we get to really dive in and engage and see this team in action. You know, everything's going to be live. Everything's going to be on TV. So the times are a little bit more convenient for majority of the fan base, the mass of the fan bases. So this is a great time of year to be here on the Coach Smook Network. As you all know, we will be working our ends to try to find ins and outs, both on the men's and the women's side of the hoops for Bama Crimson Tide. All right, let me jump in the chat and see how many people got here. We got 14 on YouTube. What's up? Listen, I know the numbers have been down over the past few weeks, but it doesn't matter, man. The point of the matter is the live numbers have been down, but there are so many people, and y'all can go and do the fact check for yourself. But our live views, post live, when we end the live, and like, it's always the next day where I see people have came through and they interact with the live. The post live as if it's live, you know, because we present that type of quality of a product. So I want to continue to push that, but I want to get these live numbers back up because we're on spring break for spring football right now, right? The guys, a lot of them have gone home for the first half of their spring break, but I got some inside scoop for y'all about some things that you hear about and speculate about. But I got the proof. So bear with me as we're fighting. We're a little under the weather, but gonna push through it. I got a little juice here, some water, some juice. So. And oh yeah, that's good. And as always, man, you all know when you drop a like, make sure you share the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe. We're here to bring the vibes, man, here on the Coach Smook Network. And today, as you all saw in the description, we have a special guest, and y'all know him, man, a very well-known name in Bama Nation and Bama. On Bama social medias and coverage of the team. Currently booming over there on Bama Tailgate, and that's none other than the host of Bama Tailgate, Mick Gillespie, and we'll be having him join here in a few minutes. But as you all come in, make sure you share the stream, please, on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, share the stream, drop a reaction. If you're on YouTube, please react with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It helps. All of it helps, right? It helps. And share it. Just share it on any platform. And we're having issues with live on Twitter right now, so we're trying to see what's going on with that. We know our Twitter viewership has been very active with supporting the Coach Smook Network. So we just want to continue to afford that opportunity for them. But also, if you're not a member of the channel, think about becoming a member of the AAA family and getting that wristband. We've been providing some members only content over the past few weeks, and the way we've been doing it is the members have like a 12-hour window of information before the following does, and it's been pretty cool. So like when you've seen like flips and coaching hires at the University of Alabama, a lot of times mainstream media won't even be pushing it out when the AAA members know. So that's why you won't see a lot of excitement in Discord and all those things, because your members probably went through and seen it already. So right now we're sitting at 114 members on the Coach Smook Network. We'd love to get that up to 200. We were at 150 at one point. Transitions happen, and now we're kind of dying off. You know, football is picking up, so we're definitely going to capitalize on getting those memberships. And then don't forget our A-Day schedule event. We'll be making the announcements here next week when we kick off with our second week of spring ball. But thank you all for tapping in. And like I said, all the shares, I see we got 9 shares on the stream. Make sure we get those likes up. Shout out to all the people in the chat, man, the AAA family. I see y'all showing up and showing love. Thad coming through, celebrating his 4th month as a AAA member on this YouTube page. But I know Thad been here for a while. Shout out to Thad Roll Tide, my brother. Appreciate you for tapping in. Mary J, the incomparable Mary J, going to be getting on the 1s and 2s here for the Coach Smook Network. Producer Mary J stepping up for the team. Shout out BT, my brother. I don't know if y'all heard the phone call last week, last Friday night, I believe that was. We did post practice. We did our spring practice weekly digest, and BT broke down the class of 25 with all of the reports, and he gets firsthand inside scoop, because he's the one that I call when I'm about to put something out for the network. And so just his ability to break down those guys, those 25 athletes, man, it was good vibes. And he called me afterwards. We had a moment, man. We really see where this thing is going, and I'm just grateful to God for the opportunity, man. I truly am. So shout out to BT for being in here, man. Jordan, our eyes and ears on the campus, man. Mr. $1 Million marching band man himself, supporting the Coach Smook Network. Alabama, big homie. What's up, big homie? My boy said he tapping in today. MJ, welcome back, man. Glad to see you, my brother. We're back at it again with Bama content. You already know, man. We never stop, man. It's just we got more to talk about now. No, I'm not a speculative person when it comes to my content anymore. I like to get it out there. Got to tell the truth now. Greg, what's good? My sister Megan in the chat. What's good, everybody? I'm glad to see everybody travelpreneur. Everybody pulling up. Jordan, 10 months, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all know May is a year that we had to relaunch Coach Smook Network in this space. So we really pushing. We want to hit that 5K before that year mark. We're sitting right here at 3.8, 3.9, 2.9, something like that. So we're trying to hit that 5K. We got time too. We got time. The time is now. Sully, what's good, brother? My brother been over there doing the reaction grind content, the grinding the reaction content. Ibram, what's good? Good to see you. King family, my brother. Good to see you, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for tapping in. The 24 in the chat on YouTube, the 2 in the chat on Facebook. And as soon as we can get Twitter up, I promise you we're gonna get Twitter up. But without further ado, y'all, bring it to the stage, man. I gotta get some hype music for this, because this is my dog right here. Like I know when he go on the other channels, he get to be, you know, suit and tie Mick, but on this channel, he know he coming home. He coming to the cave. He coming to He coming to the boom boom room. You know, that's what we do. We get it popping over here. But my guy, man, y'all know him as Mick Gillespie of Bama Tailgate. Welcome to the stage, Mick. What's good, brother?
I like the intro. I like that,
man. I got to do it up for my bro, man. Y'all give it up for Mick Gillespie, man.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, man. Good.
Hold tight, everybody.
Man, I get excited when I get on with you, man. I just think about the first time we ever interacted, a year and a half ago, and then just like everything that's transpired with Bama, with content, with everything. I've seen the growth on your channel. I've seen, everything just been going crazy, man. And then we're here again for year 2 of Kalen DeBoer and spring ball.
I know, man. It's been crazy, man. It's like, I still miss my partner. Big Elmo, like you can't replace somebody that it was like having a best friend that was Chris Farley, somebody so funny. But I think he would be surprised at kind of where Alabama football is. And here we are, like you said, second year, and it's like, okay, is Ryan Grubb going to be the guy that like brings discipline to the program?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question to me, because I know we got talent.
100%, man. And that's the thing a lot of people believe was missing last year. I'm one to say the same. I felt like Kalen DeBoer and the player-led mentality is what he's always bred, but below him there was a little bit more of accountability, and that's why you saw the type of energy you got from Jamarcus Shepard. We were looking at the tide that binds now, and a lot of things that we were echoing that, everybody thinks it's happy-go-lucky around there, but these guys don't play. They're about their business. Nick Sheridan isn't that guy. He's more so of your student, the professor, the guy that needs to be in front of the film, putting out this diagram, that diagram. And so having to adjust and make all of that mesh with the transition, players getting, trying to catch up into new roles, terminology. It was a lot. And 9-3 is what we got out of that. So I'm good. When you factor it all in and you talk, we talk about the changes. I could just, like you said, I could just imagine Elmo right now talking about how the Ryan Grubb news broke, and I could just imagine the type of smack he'd be talking, for Bama, because he was that dude. So, and you start to get that feeling amongst the fan base too, man. Give me your thoughts about, kind of like the feels around the fan base. I see a lot of comments on your content, and it's a lot more positively directed now going into this season than it was coming into last season, spring.
Well, I think first off, I think Kalen DeBoer is hard not to like as a person. He's just a nice guy, but I think there's also a feel of like, hey, nice guys finish last, and so you got to get disciplined and you got to get locked in. The interest around Alabama football isn't the same as it was when Nick Saban was head coach. And I think part of it is that people are tired of the NIL and the transfer portal. I think that when you see Ohio State bought a national championship and we somehow don't have the money to do that, even though we have $1 billion football program, I keep wondering how is not paying 30 to me, paying 30 million when you're making $1 billion to have the best team, the best players. And I know that because they don't have any rules. I mean, let's pretend they don't. Ohio State, they're getting their money there the way they're getting it there. They bought Caleb Downs, and they bought the running back from Ole Miss, and they went and bought all these players. And then you have the best players, you're going to win. So I think Bama fans are just a little turned off by that, And then when Greg Byrne asked them to right around Christmas to contribute to Yay Alabama, I don't think they like that. Although I agreed with what he was saying.
I agree with that, Mick. I think the delivery was there. I don't see why any Bama fans would not agree with it, especially the demand that we put at not just on the university, but just the football program in itself. The demand that we put on, I'm willing to bet, Mick, that if Saban had another 15 years under his belt in this stage of college football, if this was a era that he had to go through in his prime, he would try to manipulate the system just as, the Ohio States and the Ole Miss, because that was his niche, being ahead of the game, chess, not checkers, process, everything, always being ahead of the process and understanding the process behind them. had to flow into what he foresaw things to be. So it would have been still a crazy demand for Alabama football as far as the expectations. And you have Kalen DeBoer come in, and he's more so into the phase of letting everybody that does that job do that job. You know, Courtney Morgan, Greg Byrne, Ellis Ponder. I mean, the whole staff is like they're engaged, and they're not having to look over their shoulder with the great Nick Saban, and it's that different vibe. So I kind of feel like when we got that announcement from him, it was the perfect time to do it, to establish like I have a voice.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you're right, man. I mean, the criticism I have of Coach Saban, and I love Coach Saban, but the criticism was that I don't think he ever bought into the NIL and the transfer portal the way that it is now. And I don't blame him. I mean, we need him to be like the commissioner of college football just to fix this. But when they were trying to build these collectives early, he was more of a roadblock than he was an access point, like and so we got a little behind the ball there. But at the same time, he's exactly right on principle, like how can you have a sport where you don't have any kind of like boundaries as far as building your roster? And Ohio State exploited that last year. And I'm not blaming them for doing it. I wish we could have done it. I wish we had the money to go buy their best players.
Right.
I wish we had the money to go out there and do that. Because we do, we just don't, we're spending it on other stuff. And when you make $1 billion and you know that football is 95% of that, maybe more really, if you're going to get down to it. If you took football away from Alabama, as great as basketball is, it just doesn't generate the interest in the money. They're going to have.
It's too sporadic. I was just speaking on that before you jumped in.
Yeah,
it's just way too
sporadic. I love
sporadic.
the basketball team, and I love college basketball. I mean, love it. For me, it's like Christmas to think that Alabama basketball is legitimately that good. You could go on the road and beat Auburn, #1 team in the country, best team in the country, and have a gauntlet like they've played here down the stretch. But when you start, how it is, Smook, you get on here and you start talking basketball, and it's like a lot of people turn you off. They're focused on Alabama football. That's and that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah. And that's what we've been highlighting this offseason, man. Like, we understand the demand of college basketball, because some days you'll have Bama playing at 1 p.m. I'm at work, somebody's at work at 1 p.m. So their reaction to the game and what they see or hear is going to be like, okay, whatever. But they know the Mark Sears is, they know the Elon LeBarons. I mean, everybody. So you're absolutely right. Give me a second, man. I gotta go get some water. Mick show right now, y'all. Hold on. Sorry. Am I muted? I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. I don't know what's going on. I got I've been a little under the weather. My fault, Mick. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. No, man. I something's going on with X today. I tried to load some videos earlier today. I don't think it's your system, man. I think it's that there's something going on with it.
Yeah, because I'm not getting my posts. Like, I'm getting mentions, but I can't see what I'm being mentioned in.
Yeah, it's something messed up over there. But I think I had just a glitch in my internet here. But anyway, you get finish, man. I was listening.
Yeah, got this trying to get over this whatever it is in the air, man. It tried to get me
Dude,
down yesterday, but
flu, we had the flu here.
yeah.
Got over it after a week, and then it came back.
Mm.
So it was like 2 weeks. Never really got that sick. Hey, roll tide, Jeff.
Yeah.
But just kind of like was like kind of feeling bad, and then all of a sudden got out, and then boom, right back to being sick again. I mean, I'm better now, but I know it's like the whatever it is. Is it COVID? Is it the flu?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Whatever it is, it's like, and then the with the season changing, man, I got bad allergies. The little bit of pollen that's starting to, so it's bad for me right now. I'm just all up and down the road, so I'm trying to get over that. But you're absolutely right. We were kind of alluding to just the demand on Alabama sports, what we should do as far as NIL. I think that's a good conversation to jump into when you look at the type of roster that we were able to assemble last year. We lost Caleb Downs, but then you go and get a Keon Sabb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who has proven himself worthy of the value that he's created. Yeah, a transfer that's created. You lose guys in the wide receiver room, but then you go and find Jeremy Bernard, right?
Yeah. Comes
in, creates immediate value for himself from the time he steps on campus, carries it through the season with the limited opportunities, our limited capabilities at quarterback. We don't want to get in that conversation today. But you just look at how the staff has been able to maneuver throughout all of this noise and still be amongst some of the ones that's doing it with, as great as Alabama is, I don't think people realize how limited we've been as an organization or program on ourselves. It's not I don't think it's NCAA. I don't think it's us. It's Bama. The old mindset of a lot of the boosters and things are starting to evolve. We're starting to see results. And the only way you get that is through consistency. Kalen DeBoer, consistency, competition, opportunity. Those are words that we continue to hear around the campus as we, cover the team during the spring ball. Give me your thoughts around just the ultimate feels with this football team coming into spring. We got 3 practices under our belts. First, Shell's practice was this past Friday. A lot of great competition reported. I reported on some things. Give me your thoughts and your feels around everything that you've been able to collect this first week of spring ball, Mick.
Well, a couple of things. I mean, first off, I'm really excited about having Ryan Grubb, having that guy that, we all have that friend that's just a super great dude, but maybe sometimes is blind to the discipline that it takes because they're so nice, and you almost have to get their back a little bit and maybe compensate for that. I don't feel like Alabama did a great job of that last year because of the way that the season ended and the effort. It was, the Oklahoma game and the Michigan game weren't up to our standard. And a lot of the players, Tim Keenan said that the other day, apologizes to the media, and I love that because it's hard to stay at the top of the mountain, with everybody, taking a shot at you. But I do love Kalen DeBoer, and I love having Ryan Grubb back, and I like that dynamic. And then, you talked about Jamarcus Shepard. He got, part of 6 guys transferring out of the wide receiver room is that he didn't want them. He wanted guys that kind of matched. I'm sure he wanted guys that kind of matched the intensity, and the tide that binds. Some of those guys aren't even taking notes at the meetings.
Right. And that was a scene. Oh, I'm glad you said that. That was a scene to see. That was a sight to see, Mick, because a lot of people are wondering why Milroe is targeting Ryan Williams so much. Everybody's wondering why Jeremy Bernard is one of his guys. Everybody's wondering why C.J. Dupree, Josh Quavers are his guys, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at clips and all of those are the guys you see like out front, man. They're always out front. I mean, Jeremy Bernard is a student of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of the mishaps and things that happened were next level things that probably because things around it weren't happening. And for instance, a play call. Ryan Williams opens up outside instead of inside because the guy next to him, Kendrick Law, didn't run the correct route. Yeah. So he's thinking because this route is ran under me and I have this type of leverage, I need to open up inside, but really needs to open up outside if Kendrick Law runs the right route. Yeah. So those are the small things that we as a fan base, as fans and people that put such a demand on this team, we don't get to see. So Jalen Milroe catches a lot of that heat. Ryan Williams catches a lot of that heat. And the guys who aren't getting the ball, they're kind of sitting back feeding into it and complaining. And that's not to say there's, those guys were doing that, but that's usually how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's a reason why this team didn't have success. When you hear Rock Montgomery talking about guys wearing jewelry and showing up late to workouts, I had Shank in here, who, by the way, I think is one of the most talented people in the media. Not enough in the media. So hopefully Cover Crimson can fix that a little bit. But I love Shank. And he said, we were talking about it, and he just got his face up in the camera, and he was basically, when did we change the standard? You got to keep the thing, but it's up to the coaches. I mean, really, and the older players to kind of uphold that standard that you expect. And that's why I loved what Tim Keenan said. LT Overton. All those guys that came back on the defense,
and
they're the ones that are going to change the culture, Smook. They're going to get it back to the way it was. The coaches can say all they want, but it takes those guys to be the example.
Yeah, man. And the people got to remember, like, this was like a real, like, identity clash with culture, with beliefs and everything. So if I had to process it and do it all over again, I think Kalen DeBoer chose the safest and most efficient route possible to really allow this transition to be what it needs to be. And if you look at his history, he's kind of had the similar approach to previous destinations, except the major difference from this opportunity is he wasn't coming in to fix anything. See, everywhere else, they had to listen to what he had to say. They had to go in his direction because he was fixing it, coming off of losing records. Where Alabama's kind of like, we know how to win. We were just in the playoffs just like you guys. We got national championships. So that mindset is carried by players who never even, nobody on this current roster has played in a national championship game. Let's for the first time in how many years? 19 years, I want to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
19 years, because Saban, his last recruiting class, full recruiting class, they were in the last national championship game that we played. So
2020 or 21 would have been
21.
Yeah.
So you got to think, it's like, that's how fast time flies. And I don't think we as a fan base are seeing the evolution of the game as fast as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a very, like you said, even with media, man, we're in a very special time of sports and athletics and even the entertainment and coverage around it, because in 3 years, it could be another level of NIL being implied. And we're seeing like an actual free agent market on the college level, are we going to stop watching football at that point? I don't think so. We'll complain more, but we're not going to stop watching football because we'll still be interested in how it's changing. And I think Kalen DeBoer understands that with coming and going through that process, saying, okay, this game is changing. This team, there are players here who know how to win. They're the top athletes. They know, let's see if they can really be a player-led team. And I think I saw the shift Iron Bowl week. That's when, like, that game, I think I saw the shift on the sideline. Even in the Michigan game. The energy, like, you could tell the difference. So you're absolutely right. Continue, brother.
No, I mean that, and I hope that's what happens here. I mean, he's got his guy back, and what about Kalen DeBoer is that the coaches love coaching with him. I mean, think about like a Saban staff; those guys he would get all these coaches that couldn't wait to haul ass at the end of the year for their next job, and it was like that every year. Some guys were just so egregiously doing their other job, like Lane Kiffin. You guys, and a lot of people, I've been an outspoken critic of Lane Kiffin, not as a coach, but just as the way that the guy behaved when he was at Alabama that last year. Cost us, in my opinion, the 2016 national championship, because he was so he had forgotten what he was getting paid for, and he was working on his next job and not focused on the job that he had. And one day he's going to look back, and maybe it's now, and go, you know what? I should have just done like every other coach that was at Alabama.
Yeah.
That stuck it out, instead of being the guy that was taking calls for coaches for his next job, during walkthroughs for Alabama and their bowl games. And then, and obviously that's why he got the boot. And that's why when the job opened up, no one took him seriously in the Alabama administration. And he would have been he's a great coach. I mean, he knows what he's doing, but he's also not a very loyal guy. And he did a lot of childish stuff. And, but not just him though. I mean, that's just, one guy there, but all these guys,
Yeah. Yep.
I remember talking with Chris Lowe one time. We went out to lunch and he was telling me, I don't even remember what year it was, but that they showed up for a staff meeting and that some of these guys didn't even tell Saban that they were leaving. He shows up and, at the end of the season, he's looking around and there's guys missing. Hey, where did he go? He took another job, With DeBoer, Saban forced you to put the time in that it took, right? To be a champion. And that's why he won so many championships. And he was going to outwork those guys anyway. So it wasn't like, they're sneaking out because he's not going to be there. He's there first and he's even last.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
With DeBoer, these guys love coaching with him. They're loyal to him. They want, look at Grubb, man. He could have gone with Geno maybe to the Raiders. He could have probably got another offensive coordinator job. And this guy, he has all these coaches that are, obviously sticking it out with him. But if it doesn't bring results,
right,
then I don't know. And I hope it does. I really hope it does. I mean, I really hope it does.
Me too, man. Because the time is now, man. And like you said, you kind of alluded to just the topic around coaching, and culture. Kalen DeBoer, I've been, man, Friday was an amazing day. I just got to say that. Just being on campus Friday, talking to the people I talked to, it was an amazing day. But I ended up running into somebody that's been around Kalen DeBoer's staff since 2017. Last year was the first year, kind of like a Ryan Grubb situation where he was separated from the staff because of the transition. Took another position in the NFL, but now he's back with the staff, and he just continues to glean on the fact that he loves just being around Coach DeBoer, the environment that he creates, the culture that he allows you to be viewing, right? And so
I like that too.
Me too. And I think it's starting to bleed out because now you're building more confidence for people to do their job. They're not living up to a image. They're doing their best, but there is a standard. And I think Kalen DeBoer has a standard. The record speaks for itself. His overall record as a head coach. You see just the progression and the growth from the guys who are really dedicated. Edric Hill is one of those guys. We're going to start, in a few minutes here. We're going to start talking about some of the names that we're hearing from spring ball. But Edric Hill is one of the guys from Saban, recruiting that has really taken gleaned on the culture of what Kalen DeBoer has allowed him to become. Keon Keeley is another one of those guys. Even Freddie Roach as a coach, you can see his demeanor and his accountness of how he handles. And it's not to say Coach Saban was a bad coach. It's just you get a different feel and you get different results from different sources. And that's what I see with Alabama football right now. These results that we're getting as far as culture, change, expectations, how we present it, I think they're going to the way we look at them is going to have to change in order for us to fully accept it because it's headed in the right direction. It's headed in the right direction.
Well, there's different styles of success, right? I mean, it's not always the same way. The way that you get to the finish line and the way I get to the finish line may be different. But at the end of the day, if DeBoer is going to be successful, Bama has to be playing for championships. And that's if the players want to have ice cream and they want to have music at the practices and they want to, not worry about the next play and cheer. That's probably fits my personality better than other people's. You got to get results on Saturday, man. You got to get it done on Saturday. So, like they have to do the things that they're going to have to do on the field. And that's why it's up to the leadership because it's not going to be like it used to be. You're not going, you don't have Saban following you around. Ryan Anderson's in here and he's talking about playing for Saban and, getting yelled at by him and loving him. But, like just the stuff that you deal with Saban, particularly if you don't follow the rules exactly the way that he wants them. I don't think it's going to be like that anymore. It sounds like, hey, look, there's if a guy's hurt, Saban was really forceful about getting them on the practice field. I don't think that's the way it is anymore. So you're not going to get as many guys practicing. How's that going to affect you? What do you think Saban's reaction would have been if Kendrick Law would have been in the wrong position, ran the wrong route, did the wrong thing, and messed up the play? He's not going to be everybody's best friend. As a matter of fact, you're going to hate yourself because, I saw him, AJ McCarron got spanked by the guy.
Right. Like literally like old school. And Saban, and I would love to interview the Saban kids. I would wonder, did y'all get whoopings growing up? Because he popped AJ. I felt like, my daddy did one. My dad was military, man. So it was nothing for him to put you in a push-up position, smoke you, and then you keep acting up after that, you're going to get one. So that was a funny little moment. But you're absolutely right, man.
Now it's arm around your neck. Hey, it'd be great if you guys would, if you would get in the right position, It's like, I'm sure Jamarcus didn't do that, but I'm saying with DeBoer, DeBoer, you're right, though. There was a different intensity towards the end of the season. I think you and I both loved Jalen Milroe, but, it was digressing towards the end of the year. Maybe not the right system for him. Maybe they put too much on him. Maybe he had things going on outside of football that were distracting him, but we didn't see his best at the end of the season. And we saw his best against Georgia. So, where the ceiling could possibly be, or maybe way above that. I feel like this year that if Ty Simpson doesn't go out there and take the job, that Austin Mack could be that guy. And then everything you're hearing about Keelan Russell is that it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Like eventually it's going to be him. It's going to be his show. And it'll be along the Bryce Young lines to me. I just get that feeling.
Yeah. And what's crazy, Mick, right now, shout out to Mary J with the 10 gifted memberships to the Coach Smook Network. Shout out Mary J. So you all viewing right now, you may end up getting a membership. I appreciate you all. Make sure you take advantage of those benefits. We got spring ball right now. She really just hooked y'all up because I got some stuff for y'all coming up on this Wednesday show. I can't wait for Wednesday. But shout out again to Mary J. But you're absolutely right. I would like to say this, man. I think now, and now that we're kind of getting into spring ball talk, we're on the quarterback talk. I've seen this idea that people are labeling this a 2-horse race or a 3-horse race. No, the competition is very much open, but you have to be there to see how good Keelan Russell is and the type of changes that are made, like mid-drill. It could be mid-drill, and it's like you'll see Ryan Grubb. He wants to see Keelan throw to this guy. Like Ty threw to this guy 3 reps ago. Then it'll be Tyson. He'll be like, 12, come on. And you want to, and it's like you kind of get that feel like you said, it's just a matter of time. Week 1 is Ty has done exactly what he needed to do. It's never been his arm that's been the problem. It's always, to me, from what I've been told, it's always just been the consistency when it's live action, when it's time to go out and perform. Can you do enough to not lose us the game? Yeah. And that's his thing. He's not going to play with any resentment or type of what they call it. He doesn't hold it back. He's going to, whatever he feels is best, he's going to do it. And sometimes that's outside of the game plan, and that's what's kind of kept him behind to try to work on that patience. But like you said, Austin Mack doing great, getting great reports from him. But it's kind of scary when you have a true freshman, early enrollee, that's getting the exact same reports, if not more, recognition and praise. And like you said, it's a matter of time. I think it's going to be a great competition, man. I know for a fact, second scrimmage, we're going to have a good idea of what the plan is. Ryan Grubb, I don't think he'll waste time. We won't, with this staff, we won't have to worry about the whole drawn out, who's going to be the guy going into the fall. We'll know by the second scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's dangerous to do that just because a guy could transfer. But Saban didn't have a lot of weaknesses but some of those quarterback battles, we Jake Coker in here, do a show with him on Cover Crimson mostly
Mhm.
twice a week. But he's got some stories that he talks about. Just never knowing when he was the starting quarterback, and then all of a sudden, the team pretty much decided, and that's something that Saban does, But I hope it's Ty Simpson, just because the guy's waited around, because he could have transferred. He's been so loyal, but at the end of the day, I just want to win. So if Austin Mack is better, then I'm fine with that too. Just like when it was Ty Simpson against Jalen Milroe, I think I was one of the first people that was like, well, it's got to be Milroe, and I'd heard about his work ethic and everything else. But then you say, well, let me see these other guys, Tyler Buckner. What is this guy even doing here? I mean, is there something that we don't know? No, there wasn't something. He was
It
just a
wasn't. We
lacrosse
knew
player, right?
he was who we thought he was.
Exactly.
They
He
were
couldn't
who
even
we
make
thought.
passes, like a 5-yard pass behind the line. Maybe he was nervous, but anyway. So I'm
He
excited.
ate too much popcorn. He
Yeah.
shouldn't have ate that.
He won
shouldn't have ate
a
that popcorn.
national championship in lacrosse, which is crazy, right?
You know what? And the thing is, he was actually good. Like, he's a great lacrosse player.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Good athlete.
sometimes you're just an athlete, man, and you get put in situations where some of your skill sets are highlighted. He looked good at Notre Dame in certain situations at the quarterback position, but that was at Notre Dame. In a scheme where you're not expected to create dynamic plays a lot. Alabama, you got to be quick, got to be dynamic, got to be ready to improvise in that situation that year. So, but moving forward, man, we talked about the quarterbacks a little bit. I want to talk about this wide receiver room. Latsier Brooks has been catching a lot of eyes, turning a lot of heads. I kind of have been hyping Latsier Brooks up since March of last year. When we got his commitment early, and everybody was joking, I was saying this is a 5-star quality receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And people was like, he's 3-star for a reason. No, he's 3-star because he's in New Jersey and he doesn't like the camp. But this is a 5-star wide receiver. A lot of highlights have been revealed where you see 17 looking like 17 of pass in Jalen Waddle. Yeah, so give me your thoughts on the wide receiver room, some guys that you're hearing about. Latsier Brooks was my guy from day one. I'm also hearing Jalen Hill. Jalen Hill, getting back into the swing of things, really taking a leadership role in the room, just being vocal more so, not being able to impact as much on the field with live action, but just being a positive leader. I think he could be our quality depth piece in our wide receiver room with Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard, and Ryan Williams being in the forefront of this thing, and Cole Adams, Rico Hampton, those guys being in the forefront right now. I think this is going to be a very talented wide receiver room.
Yeah, 6 guys left, and you feel like the room might have gotten better, right? I mean, Horton coming in from Miami, he can catch, and then Brooks. Interesting to see like a guy from New Jersey come down to Alabama, but I like this staff's ability to scout and not have to rely on some of these recruiting services. And the recruiting services, I mean, come on, man, like they're just services. Like they're going
limited. They are very limited.
They're going off of what other people tell them. I mean, it's not like they can just sit there and watch film and know. I mean, and that's fine. And that's not a shot at them. I'm just saying, like, although I do think when you're a 5-star, that's probably the easy work. It's trying to figure out 4s and 3s and 2s and all that. But this staff is going to recruit the people that they like. The Booker offensive lineman they got out of Atlanta and wasn't even ranked. And then he's a 4-star when Alabama, basically signed him, or not signed him, but they got his commitment. They know what they want. That's a good thing about DeBoer. They were able to do that every stop along the way. They know what they're looking for, and Brooks kind of fits that. And it's exciting to hear that he's doing so well in practice. And then the other thing is, if you're a true freshman, one thing that DeBoer has proven is that you can play. Ryan Williams played. I don't know that Ryan Williams would have played that early for Nick Saban. I mean, maybe he would have, but maybe he wouldn't have. Saban was known for like having guys rot on the bench for the first year if they were true freshmen, even if they were Derrick Henry. And there were games where you're like, man, why don't we play Derrick Henry?
Why not play Najee Harris?
Najee Harris? Yeah, like what are we doing? Right?
That was the year. That was the year I felt like we called it too close too many times with Coach Saban, and we had Najee Harris sitting on the bench We had Devontae Smith, getting backup reps, and what's his name was in the slot, and I love him. It wasn't Cam Sims. Robert Foster was, I think, a senior that year with not Calvin Ridley. Who was the slot that was in front of Devontae Smith the year he caught the natty? Slade Bolden, I believe it was.
Was it Slay?
I want to say it was one of the slots. And it wasn't that they weren't good. They just wasn't, you could tell they weren't explosive like Ruggs, Judy, and Smitty, man. Like Najee Harris, all of them came in together with Tua. Like we were really on this phase. Like it was times where we were like, Coach Saban, come on, man. It's a reason why you got all these 5 stars. Let's spin it. But I don't see that with Kalen DeBoer and the staff. And I really don't feel it with Ryan Grubb in this quarterback room. That's why I'm telling you, man, like you said, it's a matter of time with the quarterback. But wide receiver room, too much talent to really say we're going to have 3 guys. It could be a possibility of 6, 7 guys with 400 plus receiving yards.
I hope so, man. I mean, look, I hope so. I mean, I love Cole Adams kind of being the guy going out there making some plays for you, the possession guy, the Slade Bolden type dude. But Ryan Williams is the most exciting player in the SEC, just the things that he can do, man. It's like, I describe him as he just kind of has that. Did you ever see the Chappelle show where he was playing basketball against Prince?
Prince,
what I'm talking about. And he just kind of has that Prince feel to me. Like you would meet him and you're like, I don't know if this guy's that good. And then all of a sudden, he's painting his fingernails and he might be wearing a blouse, but you're not stopping him. You know what I mean? Like,
shoot the J. Shoot the J. Shoot it. Man,
I love the guy, though. He's so much fun.
You say something. Ryan Williams is one of those guys. A lot of people think he's real flashy and cocky, but, man, he's probably the most humble kid in that room. He's just confident in his abilities because that's the type of work he puts in. I don't think people realize, like, Ryan Williams is a gym rat. He may not be pumping iron every day, but he's really a student of his technique, and that's what allows him to play in such a free space when he's on the field. He does unorthodox things because he does the simple things so much that it's a part of him and part of his makeup. And when you bring guys in like Isaiah Horton, I mean, I got to admit, Mick, I was wrong about Isaiah. I thought he was just going to be another guy, 4'6" guy that, 6'3", big body that can really make the big, 50-50 catches on the outside, give you some range. But the guy's faster than I expected. I mean, I could legit 40 official, maybe a 4.49 guy, with that size, 6'3", 205, 210, can really stretch the field and can go up and get the ball. This is starting to shape up to be that room that Washington had with Penix. Literally, the anatomical makeup of those starting 3 guys. You had a 6'3" guy, you had a 5'10", 5'11" guy, you had another 6-foot guy in that wide receiver room, and then their 4th guy, their tight end, was their third bet, had the 3rd most receptions on that team, but he was basically that 4th wide receiver. You look at what we have in that tight end room, man. You have Danny Lewis Jr., who's not in spring right now, but he's coming back. We know what his athleticism looks like. But Josh Cuevas, 4th year in the system, in this system, and now he's really the guy, leading. He's the guy, and you got young talent behind him. It's the receiving core as a whole. I know we said wide receivers, but the receiving core as a whole is so many assets available. You really can't limit Alabama's passing game unless you don't have the right guy behind the line of scrimmage, right? That's the only way you're limited. You can even still have an explosive passing game with this room and this receiving core if you're struggling at certain spots on the O-line. You got scat backs. You got scat guys. Mbakwe is in our wide receiver room. I saw a question. I want your thoughts on this. Somebody dropped a question. One of my mods, Megan, she said, what do y'all think ends up happening to Bach? That room is crowded too. What's your thoughts, Mick?
I love him, and he's a great football player. I mean, if you just saw him in high school, I mean, like quarterback, wide receiver, running back, defense, So, I mean, if he turns out to be like the type of player that he's capable of being, like if he could be the wild card in all of this, because I don't ever consider him when we're talking about, where this team is right now. I mean, with wide receivers, I just don't know. I mean, I haven't seen enough of them to really say, hey, but I believe in him I did not want him transferring out. I
Yeah.
thought that Alabama did exactly what they needed to do. You can't lose a Jalen Mbakwe. You just can't. If he wants to try to play wide receiver, do it, man. Maybe do the Travis Hunter thing and do both. You know, he's talented as an athlete enough to do it. So maybe he's a guy that we, by the end of this camp, we see him and we're like, man, you know what? There's another weapon that we are not even thinking about.
Yeah, and like I'm right there with a lot of the masses. I like the fact that we could retained a quality guy like that, who in so many you could put him in different spots. I don't think we limit him to the wide receiver room. Honestly, I think he's your primary specialist guy. For so many years, great punt returner in the NFL. I forget his name. Played with the Bears. Devin Hester.
Devin Hester, yeah.
Devin Hester did it for so many years. He was listed as a running back at one point, a wide receiver at one point, even took a roster spot as a cornerback one year. People don't know this. Devin Hester took a roster spot as a cornerback one year because he was mainly a punt returner, kick returner. And then you started to see him. Cordero, what's his name, does it in the league right now. Cordero Patterson. He plays running back for the Falcons at one point, but he's wearing a wide receiver number, and then he lines up in the slot for majority of the snaps.
Yeah,
but he's listed as a running back. So you got those X factor guys. I think that's what we could see with Bach. He has way too much speed. He has a lot of ball skills, but I don't think you fully remove him from that secondary because dime safety rotation is a huge thing for Coach Mo, and Bach can be a husky. He can be a rover type, a nickel corner. And that if you start to struggle there, you need his assets available. He did great at that position, even boundary corner when he got pushed into that role last season. So I want to see Bach utilized in a space where it's just his athleticism on display. Keep it easy for him by not making him a playbook worm, right? Keep his mind open to be creative and to be the explosive and exciting athlete that he is, because I don't think people realize how fast he is.
Yeah. Well, Smook, it's always great talking to you. I need you to come on my channel and do this with me.
For sure, man. I'm down.
Man, do it again.
I'm down, brother.
Really soon, man. And I love talking Alabama football with you guys as well. So thanks for having me.
For sure, man. And let the people know where to follow you at and everything so we can stay into it. I always come over. I never catch our lives. But when you and Clint do y'all thing, I love it, man. Clint has been balling out, man.
He's so smart. Cover Crimson on YouTube and Bama Tailgate on YouTube. And then the Bama Tailgate shows on radio on game days. Comes on 5 hours before Alabama football. We were number one, Jake Coker and me and Big Elmo, rest in peace, and the rest of our crew. But we were number one in the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa market. We would come on before the Crimson Tide Sports Network on 106.9 FM. You can hear it everywhere. It's a huge signal, but we're on in a lot of different markets down here on, the radio stations in Pensacola, Mobile, up in Huntsville, all over the place. But man, it's honestly, it's a pleasure to hang out with you guys and roll tide.
Roll tide, Mick, and handle your business, man. We'll be touching bases real soon, bro. Spring ball kicking back off. It's gonna be a good little off season, brother.
All right, see you guys. Roll tide.
All right, take care, brother. Roll tide. That's my guy, man. Mick Gillespie, y'all. Man, I'm telling y'all know how we do, man. We want people to come over here, relax. Everybody that pull up on the Coach Moon Network, they come over here, they vibe. My guy, he got to go get out and do important business stuff, right? So shout out to Mick Gillespie for stopping through on the Coach Moon Network, man. Real quick, in the chat, man, let's get a like count. Can we get a like check? If y'all enjoyed that interaction with myself, Mick Gillespie, run a like up on the stream, share the stream. We are not done. We still got to talk some more Bama football hot topics. Just wanted to get my guy Mick in. He's going to be joining us again, not next week, during the week, but we're going to try to have him on post scrimmage. He's one of my people, So, come on, water, bro. Did y'all hear me coughing just then? Oh, man. It's choppy. What's choppy? My stream? Stream choppy? What's choppy? Bama King, what's good? Yeah, man. Big Sexy, man. If y'all didn't know, If y'all haven't been paying attention, Big Sexy passed a few months back. What's your problem? What is your problem? Prince is over here talking about. But my audio is choppy. We good now? Are we good now? Uh-oh. Let me fix it. Are we good? We good now? Let me know. Let me see. It might be the audio, the music. Are we good now? Mic check, mic check. Uno, dos. Uno, dos, mic check. Sounds good. Oh, see? The record for most wins in program history. I just wanted to put that little nugget out there. Roll Tide. For what? For Bama baseball? Oh, I didn't even know that, man. And you know, it's crazy. We actually got some tickets to like 4 games. We'll be going to 4 games in April. 4 baseball games in April. I gotta go check. Bama King, how you been, man? Good to see you, man. All good now. Thank you all for tapping in. Listen, I'm gonna get the phone line set up. We're gonna open the phone lines. Post-game reactions for Alabama versus Auburn this past weekend. The game-winning shot by Mark Sears. I don't have to dive into the details. You all watched it. I watched it. We're going to talk about it when we open the phone lines here on the Coach Smook Network. But then also Bama women's hoops suffering a loss against Florida in the SEC tournament. South Carolina won the women's side of the SEC last night. They blew out Texas. Did them a dirty one. And so we'll be diving into that conversation, you know, open the phone lines for that. And then, but we'll also be talking about some of the hot topics. I'm about to give y'all these hot topics from Bama Spring Ball here in a few seconds. So right after we get back from this little not infomercial break, we're just going to do like an interlude break. I got to get some things set up on the screen. And then after that, we'll be straight, man. Y'all don't go nowhere. Make sure y'all like and share the stream, man. I don't know how many likes. Where we at on the likes, chat? Where we at on the likes? We're going to get into this conversation. I really want to hear y'all voices. I know it's lunchtime, so I want to get the phone lines open for the community and get y'all thoughts. If you're on lunch, it's the perfect time to call in because, you know, you limited on time. You get your thoughts in. You get your thoughts in about what Mick had to say about Bama football and the transition. Really getting into the conversation. We talked about the quarterbacks, wide receivers. Offensive line is another group that I'm excited about. But we got some y'all know spring ball is here. Smook Scoop. Spring ball is here. Spring break is also here. And unbeknownst to a lot of y'all, when Saban was here, there was no break in between spring practice, right? You had 3 straight weeks of spring practice, and then you had the spring game. Well, Kalen DeBoer spaced out the spring practices. And to me, I think this is more efficient than the old school way. It allows staff to still be flexible. You know, you're not practicing every day on the field. You're practicing on the field. You're taking days in between to really get film study in, recovery, sticking to nutrition. You're able to do recruiting, right? All of these things are spaced out with this new format. But with the spring break format and because of NIL, people trip about NIL, but this is why I like NIL. You got 18, 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids who really take their craft seriously and are trying to go to the next level. So they're not just going on spring break to be in Panama City Beach or to go to Daytona, Florida for bike week or nothing like that to to get in trouble. A lot of these kids are taking their time. They're going to visit the family for the first half, and then they're taking their own initiative to meet up in places where they can conduct, some workouts, some brotherhood type things. You got guys meeting up in Florida. You got guys going to South Carolina. There's a few guys meeting up in South Carolina. A couple guys going to Texas. Your West Coast guys are coming back to this side of the country to get back and stay locked in with the brothers. And those are positive things to see. Tua and that class of guys, they were real big on doing that. And you saw how that offense, so mainly the offensive guys planning to get together. And it's not just one quarterback, guys. This quarterback room, I know we want to create this idea. The media wants to create this idea that there's this crazy competition, though. But this is a team that's really working to be the best version of them. And that's what I like when you have player-led teams. The jealousy factor is taken out of the equation, because is mainly guys are working amongst each other. You're forcing your players to work amongst each other. So when there's a decision made to who's the starter here, it's no secret. It's no secret. There's no coaching favoritism questions there when a decision is made on who the starter is going to be. So guys are going to be getting together during spring break. This is day 1. Well, day 2, 3, because they left Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is day 3 of spring break. A lot of these guys will be coming back on campus. I think they have to report back Friday. They'll be reporting back to start prepping for practice on Monday of next week, getting back into spring ball practice next week. So we got a few guys that we should be getting on the phone lines this week that we'll be able to talk to. Yes, actual players, being that we are not credentialed media for Bama football. I want y'all to understand that. So stop telling people that I'm a media for Alabama. No, I'm a sports media talent. I had somebody else said I was on the recruiting staff for Alabama. No, I'm a recruiting insider. I get inside news for recruiting, and a lot of it is around Alabama football because we just so happen to be building these relationships with a lot of the players that are coming up on Alabama's radar. So, and the ability to identify talent is something that our team does very well, if I must say so myself. Somebody get us a contract ASAP. Good. All right, so let me get on the phone lines, man. I'm trying to get it, like I told y'all before, I'm trying to kind of getting over this little bug, man, or going through it. I don't know. But let me get the phone lines open. 334-625-1121. Call in. Share your thoughts. 334-625-1121. Here on the Coach Smook Network. Let me know what you got to say. Alabama football. We talking about Alabama football, spring ball, things you've been hearing. Questions, thoughts, who you looking for it to come out of this thing, making some noise, right? Alabama basketball. We got it coming.
Call from Zach Willie to accept.
Yo, Zach, what's up, man? You in the game. Talk to me, Zach.
What's going on, Coach Smook?
Nothing much, man. What's good, man? Talk to me. What's your thoughts, man? We had Mick Gillespie on the show, kind of just diving into this week off of Alabama spring ball. You got Alabama going on the road and getting the win at Jordan Hare. Doing it in a fashion that I said we would have to do it in, a lot of energy. Then women's hoops, we just waiting to start back up for our tournament season. And we got a lot to talk about, man. So what's on your mind today, Zach?
Oh, yeah. I'm proud of the men's team this weekend, going in to Auburn and pulling out the W. Now, was it the cleanest win? No. Could Alabama have played better? Yes. But especially against a team like Auburn that is as good as they are, a win is a win. You got to celebrate the win.
Man, you know what, Zach? I think when you go into a hostile environment, you have to have that other team have an off night for it to be a pretty win, because Auburn is not a team that's going to just give away a game. This is a quality team. And I'm about to throw up. Give me a second, Zach, because I have to tell the truth when I'm on this network, right? We have to tell the truth, right?
Right.
So let me just gather myself before I say this. Got the water ready. Paper towels. We're good. Auburn right now is the best team in the country.
Facts. And Florida's right on their heels. I believe Florida's right on their heels. And then Duke.
My bad,
Yeah.
Zach. I was trying not to. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk to the people. Zach, are you throwing up too?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Because I was. That's what I was doing. I was trying not to puke on screen, but yeah, I said it. They have they're a good team. All right, but yeah, Florida. Like you said, Florida's becoming a dangerous team. We're seeing Florida just click at the right time. They've been right there hovering above the top of the ranks, but I really do see Alabama as one of those top 5-6 teams. And when our shot is falling, we could be number one. I don't think Auburn is probably the only team that can really keep up with us in the shooting. Florida has quality defense. They really thrive off of their defense, but when it comes to the scoring part, Alabama is one of few that can really light up the scoreboards.
Right. Auburn. I'll say this. Auburn is probably the only team that I've seen this season be consistent enough to keep up with it shot for shot. And that's with us clicking on all cylinders, us hitting our threes, us getting layups, hitting our free throws, all that. Auburn is probably one of the only teams that could keep up with us shot for shot because of the quality. I think I was watching their average age of their players was the same average age as the best NBA team right now. And so, I mean, that kind of says something.
A lot of quality experience on that roster. A lot of quality experience on that roster. And simple. Zach, final 30 seconds, man. We got a lot of people wanting to interact on the show today. What's your thoughts, man? I know this Auburn game was a huge factor. But the tournament, man, the tournament seeded, getting into this being able to have that first round bye, does that make a lot of a difference for Alabama going into the postseason NCAA tournament play?
Yes, because it gives us a chance to get rested, get some guys that have been banged up. Not as many, don't have to play as many games, as many days in a row as most teams, so that would help us. And overall, there's a lot of positives to it, and who knows what's gonna happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of people are saying if we won the SEC tournament, then we'd have a chance to be a 1 seed again. Honestly, I don't want to be a 1 seed. Honestly, I think we'd be fine, as a 2 seed, because that would take a little bit of pressure off our backs. I mean, of course, there's still going to be pressure because the 2 seed's still good, but not as much pressure on us as if we was a 1 seed. But Alabama's going to have pressure because we made it to the Final Four last year, so everybody's going to expect us to at least make it to the Final Four again this year.
100%, Zach, 100%. And not just Final Four, but I think this is a team that can really push to be in that national championship, man. When we're locked in, that defensive energy we brought in the second half, even though it went into overtime, the presence, the activity is what made the difference in how this team looked and how they performed. We can get ugly wins like that against Auburn. They look good against teams of lesser talent. And there's a lot of those teams in the country, that don't measure up to Auburn. If we can play every team with the same intensity like we played Auburn, we can be in that top 4 and playing for a national championship, a basketball national championship for the Crimson Tide. But Zach, I appreciate you for tapping in, man, and roll tide, my boy.
Roll tide, Coach. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Zach Willie in the game, chat. Y'all know the vibes. Phone line is open 334-625-1121. As we carry on the topic, I just got a text, y'all. I just got a text, and I think y'all going to be happy to hear this. We have just been invited. To, I wouldn't say cover, but we'll be at the next community event Crimson Tide players are hosting. We got a couple Crimson Tide players hosting some opportunities to give back to the community, to give back to the fans. And we'll be getting you all the details. We'll be on site supporting those, pushing that, helping them support the community, supporting the fans, giving back. Can't wait to do that, man. Going to have a lot of interactions with Alabama players, the organization, staff here. Now that we know exactly how we have to move here at the Coach Moon Network. But I want to get into a topic of conversation. Hold on. Going to get into a topic of conversation here. And I want your thoughts. I want everybody's thoughts on this in the comments, y'all. This has been a great stream thus far. And I just want to kind of end it with this because we have to keep our shows to 1 hour and 30 minutes now. Got to keep our shows to 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's been great with the type of algo we've been getting with these show times like this. Phone line is open 334-625-1121. Again, we had 2 missed calls. You can call back now. We had Zach on the line. So once y'all see that they're not on the line, that's when you call back. So if you want to call in now, go ahead. Let me get my topics. Being on the topic of basketball here, right? And this is something that shout out to Jordan for bringing this to the platform, to the community. This is a great topic of conversation since we're talking. Let me get this off. Since we're talking the Alabama basketball squad, right? What in the world? Okay. Since we're talking Alabama basketball, here we go. I'm like, why is it not doing it? Present this tweet. Share screen. Boom. So, Blake Byler, one of the respected personalities that covered Alabama basketball, made this tweet a couple of days ago, right? And I want to highlight this because I said this, and I think Jordan sent it to me because it was kind of like, I'm not saying he watched the show, but when people that know what they're talking about, it's kind of like it makes sense when you say it and when you think of it from this perspective. But I said this last week going into the Auburn game, maybe this team goes into the offseason kind of like they did last year. You know, we were humming at one point, and then it's kind of like we limped into the offseason, and then you saw the tournament push that we made. Well, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the fact that this Alabama basketball team is a lot more talented than the team from last year, right? A lot more talented on both ends of the ball. We have a big man that's going to, when he's clicking and he's able to play his range in the paint, you know, on the defensive side and really be active on the glass. Guys feed off of that. Your 3 guards and your 4 stretch 4 guys, they get the feed and benefit from that type of play. So kind of look at how the season is shaped out, you know, the top 5 rankings for the most part of the season, we dropped right outside the top 5. I think we're probably going to end the season number 5, number 4. A number 2 seed going into the tournament would be great, even if we win the SEC, like Zach was saying. You look at where our current status, and it gives a better. We're in position to be in this position we were last year, where we're kind of limping into the playoffs or the postseason play. Okay, where we're limping into postseason play, but we're equipped with a lot more assets, a lot more skill assets, especially on the offensive side. So Blake Bala says, I thought guys quit last year at time. Well, this is what Nato said that post game conference. I thought guys quit last year at times. I don't think that's the case here. We don't have enough pop, but we fought hard. I thought they continued to fight. I would anticipate us being a lot better Saturday at Auburn. I don't think this group has any quit in them. And we saw that this past Saturday against Auburn, literally what he felt. And like I was saying about this team, you kind of needed that slump to go through and be able to get the best out of you guys when they know they can go out there. You know, I love the aggressiveness by Aiden Holloway and Phylon this past game. You know, the turnovers were still there, but they were you don't have quality turnovers. I won't ever say that, but they weren't turnovers that put the game out of reach. You know, they were plays trying to be made, you know, and making sure that we were moving the ball a lot better. The half court sets in the first half were clean. They got a little sloppy in the second half, but that's not our game anyways. We want to get up and press tempo, and we saw phases of that. We saw stretches of that, and that's what's going to help us continue to grow. So, quality tweet. What are y'all thoughts about that? Do you think this team is more equipped to be in a limping into the postseason play? Are we more equipped to have a positive turnaround this year than we were last year? I don't see this team struggling with a Grand Canyon University squad. You know, a Grand Rapids. I said Grand Canyon. Was it Grand Canyon? Which was a quality athletic team. Y'all saw them boys. They get up and down that floor, and they was some flyers. I don't see us struggling in games like that. If we play with that same intensity, I see us doing just fine. Let me pull up my Alabama women's basketball coverage, man. Y'all know I love my ladies. We got Ayers Lester and Essex Cody. We're gonna be checking in with the network coming up soon, y'all. True freshman phenom, Ayers Lester, and sophomore big man Essex Cody, big woman. Is it proper? Y'all never told me last stream. Is it proper when speaking in reference to basketball terms, ladies? I've never had an issue with addressing my homegirls that hoop. I'd be like, go play big man. You gotta go be the big man. Like I've never. But being that we are on this platform, I want to be proper. I want to be able to. I don't want to hurt no feelings and disrespect nobody unintentionally, right? Let's see. What's the story around women's hoops? Okay. Boom. Okay. So we're waiting for selections to happen, right? Women's bracket. Got a lot of bracketology. Our women's region, we'll come in as a 6-7 seed. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be mad. I just know whatever bracket we go into, you don't want to. Nobody wants us as a 10 seed, right? Nobody wants us as a 10 or 11 seed. Not this Alabama women's team. 6-7 keeps a lot of people placed, and it keeps us in a space where we're playing against quality teams early on that would usually knock a number 1 or number 2 seed out. And you get to see these number 1 and number 2 seeds struggle, you know, especially on the women's side, man. You have 2 teams in the SEC right now that, to me, are head and shoulders above the rest of the league. And that's Texas and South Carolina. They played for the SEC championship. You saw South Carolina get the best of Texas. But we've also seen both teams get taken advantage of when they were off, right? And if you lose teams like that in the tournament, UCLA is popping right now. You got who else? What other women's teams we got popping right now? Tennessee women's squad. You know, coming back from just a lot of adversity throughout the season. I mean, a lot of quality teams on the women's side, and they going to be playing against those matchups. March Madness is about to be crazy. March is about to be crazy. College basketball is probably going to see the most attention it's seen in probably the past 15 years because of teams like Alabama, Florida. I'm talking about women's teams. Teams like UCLA, teams like LSU, teams like USC, right? Right? So there's a lot of good quality basketball. I see our women's team really, we got to work on confidence in our depth. Looking at how we played that last game against Florida, Olivia McGill, I want to say is her name, from Florida. True freshman. She had a great game against us, but there was a stint, like I said, and I talked about this on the show, I want to say Friday. There was a stint where we could have really kept her on that second group on the floor with Barker and Sarah Ashley and Carly Weathers. And you had Cristobal Azuma, you had Diana Collins and Eris Lester on the floor with those two. And that five had so much energy and intensity on the defensive side that it started to create opportunities on the offensive side. We had 7 shots we had 7 shot attempts during that 1 minute and 47 second span. So the pace of the game picked up because of the defensive pressure. We only had 2 makes, 2 of 7 on makes. I could live with that when you're only down by 1 when you call that timeout to make that switch. You know, with I want to say it was like 4 minutes left in the game. You push that to a 3-minute mark with that same energy and intensity. You probably have your team, your offensive players coming off the bench in better position to really, finish that game. So I think going into, the tournament play now, we're going to see a more defined rotation, which you don't experiment with depth in the NCAA. You kind of forced into playing depth, and God forbid any injuries happen. But I think players like Diana Collins, players like Eris Lester, players like Gianna Cunningham, Carly Weathers, Cristobal Azuma, they have to be confident in whatever roles they have been asked to do in order to have a team like this go the distance in the tournament. And I mean, a team like this, you got 3 legit create your own shot scores that at any moment in time they can go off when other things are working around them, when the off the ball movement is happening. Zay Green is a do-it-all player, but she is really an offensive specialist. Her experience at the college level, I think this is her 5th year, if I'm not mistaken. 3rd school, 5th year. She has a level of experience that she displays it in her gameplay, right? Her demeanor when she's handling the ball, when it's time to calm the offense down and get a good shot on the basket. She's the one to do that. Then you got Aaliyah Nah, who's your sharpshooter from 3. Learning that her off ball movement is just as important as the shot, right? And getting more confident in taking the defenders off the dribble. Also, you got, of course, the leader, Sarah Ashley Barker. She's going to get you exactly what you need, whether that's a shot at the rim. Her range has definitely improved since last year. And when she came over from Georgia, a lot of people didn't respect her range. Over the last 2 years, I believe being in Alabama and playing in the system, you have to respect the range. And then Essence Cody, we haven't spoken much on her. I would love for her to just go full mean mama mode and beast mode, because I believe she's actually the biggest X factor of the team. Carly Weathers is my Swiss Army knife, but I think Essence Cody is the one that is really the deciding factor of what this team does. She may not be scoring the most, but she's always going to get you those boards. She's going to handle the paint, right? And when you feed her, when we're in phase and you feed her, she's going to get quality shots. She can go off for 15 to 18 quietly while securing 12, 15 rebounds. So this is a team that has all of the assets. Got to trust the process. Got to trust the mode of the game. Got to put more faith in the depth of your team, Coach Curry, and let things play out. You got some hoopers on that bench. Diana Collins and Eris Lester could possibly be, the nastiest backup 1-2 punch coming off the bench. If you just trust it, skill set, and put confidence in them. encourage them to shoot. It's a lot of times Diana Collins passes up shots, man. She could have hit that 3 to go ahead against Florida, but I don't think there's enough confidence placed in her. And Coach Curry is a coach that's all about putting confidence into her players. But in those moments, I hope that there was something said to Diana to say, hey, next time you had it, don't be scared to shoot it. Because that would have been a great shot. She shot it, but she hesitated. Shoot it with confidence. We're celebrating. We're telling a different story about this team. So that's my take on the Alabama basketball going into this tournament time. And hopefully everybody enjoyed the show today. That's going to be it for our show today. Let me get the outro beat playing for y'all. Y'all know this is my beat right here. This is my joint right here. This is the one right here. So if you all enjoyed the show on today's live, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We have our merch available. Everybody that's been asking about our merch, we do still have merch. It's up. We just are designing our personal website so that we are getting, we got our distribution. We got our, not distribution. We got our the people that make the stuff for us, guys. I don't know the word. I'm trying to be professional and it's not coming because I'm hungry again. But thank y'all for showing up and supporting all of our sponsors on the stream. Yon Clothing Brand. Y'all see the hat back there. I don't know if y'all noticed my homie back here. He's a new guest on the show. We got to find a name for him. He didn't tell me his name. He actually really don't talk, but he pretty chill. He's a Bama fan. Y'all let me, my designers. Yes, my designers. Thank you, Mary J, for keeping me squared away. But we got to find a name for him. We got to get him. He said he wanted some Bama gear. So we're going to find out what's good. He'll be here throughout the streams now. He might be on campus, you never know where this guy might be. All right. So welcome him to the team. Going to get him fitted in some Coach Smook Network gear. But y'all go check out the merch, man. Y'all go check out the merch. Yon Clothing Apparel, appreciate them for being partners and sponsoring us. Man of Standard Executive Security, appreciate y'all. And my auntie's business, Helping Hands Cleaning. If y'all in the Tri-City area, Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City, Lee County area, y'all guys go check her out. Helping Hands LLC, doing office cleanings, home cleaning. I don't know if we do home, but shout out to everybody. Shout out to Diamond Sports Group, man. Shout out to all of the high school programs that support and allow us. We will be doing a new series, y'all. I'm making an announcement. I want to say Thursday. We're doing a new series, and it's going to really get us behind the scenes. And we're trying to get this to get picked up by some of the programs on the collegiate level. We've already made a pitch, and we got some positive feedback that we're ready for the product. So we're going to start featuring phases of this new product here on the Coach Smook Network. Yes, it's another entertainment product. I think you all are going to be happy to be a part of it. The actual releases for episodes, they're going to be members only releases for the first 24 hours. So if you got membership badges, you're about to see exactly what I'm talking about soon. I think the first episode, we should be able to feature it next week, next Friday. So we'll be making announcements Thursday, and then the first episode will be featured next Friday. And it's going to be a lot of behind the scenes stuff with Bama football, with high school athletes, some of the top recruits, some of the recruits that aren't being picked by recruited by Bama, but they're like your 5-star number 1 athletes. We got some former NFL players we're going to be interacting with. That's a lot of content that we're going to be putting on the network. So y'all keep me in your prayers and continue to support, man. Continue to keep the team in your prayers. We got a full team now that's working, solid, dedicated, no crazy stuff, right? Solid, dedicated, loyal, no side business stuff. I trust this team, and I appreciate them for being who they are for the network and for what God is doing in this time for the Coach Smook Network. So hopefully you all enjoy the rest of your day. We will be back tonight with some content, or we might be back here in a few hours with some gaming content. Gotta go check on my car and handle some business, run some errands. But until the next time, remember, man, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I appreciate y'all for y'all support. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Roll Tide.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook.